Welcome back to another torch review. I have the K1 Playfox in from AngryFox, and this was sent in via the company for a review. We'll just look over the packaging, not too much information on that. So we'll open up the box and we can see the torch included, and you get 3 silicone caps to put on the top of the torch, and they have small holes at the top. You also get a spare O-ring. That's an unusual pack. We'll have a look at those in more detail later on. Looking at the design of the body, this has a matte effect. It's very close to matte, it's not quite, and a little bit of a few grooves at the top. The body is mostly smooth though, and so is the head. You'll see there is a section just below the screw thread where you can slot in those silicone caps. Just unscrew it, you can see the contact points, and there's a spring inside. Now this takes single AAA cell, so we've got a nickel metal hydride we put in here. Quite a long thread, so screw that down. These are already pre-greased with the silicone, but do keep an eye on that for long-term use. And you'll be able to see the XP-G2 LED. That's quite a very common one for the AAA torches. It also has a special lens on the top. The operation is a simple twist, and then scroll through the 3 power modes. And once you go through that twice, you will go into the strobe, which is a beacon effect. Just show you now slotting on the silicone cover. Fits into the groove, and then you can put the cap on the top. Quite a good fit. Interesting to have those. We'll take them outside a bit later on and see how they perform. One thing I did note, particularly with the blue one, is you get less light output from it, but you get a little hot spot thanks to that small hole at the top. You can see it in more detail here. We'll just have a quick look at the manual. We can see the 3 power levels, 120 and 2 lumens, and they're quoting around about 55 minutes battery life. I'm getting around about 50 from the nickel metal hydride cells, and that's pretty decent overall. The rest of the information covers your warranty and basic operation. Comparing it to the Olight i3E, this is slightly longer, but not by much. The Olight is quite a nice little torch. I use that quite often, but it has a single power setting. The one thing that I do prefer on the Olight is the knurling on the body. There's a lot more of it, which makes it a better grip overall. So it's perhaps closest to the i3S, which I also reviewed from Olight. That has a slightly longer body, but it does have a base. You can base stand it as well as use the clip. A quick waterproof test, no problems as usual. Submersed in water for half an hour. And outside, just to show you the beam shot, this is on medium with the K1. You see you get a very nice diffused even light, and comparing it to the i3S, it looks a bit brighter on the K1 torch, so I'd say that the actual power level is a bit higher than the Olight. Going in up close on the low mode, they're quoting around a couple of lumens, but I'm more interested in the real world use, and compared to the Olight i3S, it is quite a bit brighter. I do like that super low mode on the Olight. I have to admit, whether that's going to be an issue, I don't really know, but it's worth mentioning. We'll start off at the lowest power level, going up to the medium and into high. These torches don't have massive power, but they are convenient and very pocketable, and up around a sort of 100 lumen mark you can still see quite a lot to the naked eye. Certainly a bit more visible than here in the video. You can easily see down the bottom of the garden. And onto the Olight, just a comparison between those two. See, the beam pattern is a bit different between the two of them. The Olight is using a textured reflector rather than a optical lens on front of the LED. I'll be able to show you that in a bit better detail shortly. Go back to the K1, show you the beam pattern up close. As you can see, very well diffused. There's no obvious hotspot with torches like this, and there shouldn't be because they're going to be used up close. Now on the high level, comparing the K1, we'll fix the position now on the tripod so you can see exactly between the two, and onto the Olight, the i3S. So I'd say there's a bit more spread and a touch more power off of the K1. It's not a big difference, but that's how it looks to me. And onto the telephoto test. Again, you don't get huge range with these torches, but you should still be able to see a reasonable distance. And I can make out the shed and the bush behind it just about. This is just another angle now, just showing you how far I can see. So a range of about sort of 45, 50 foot. And down the side of the house, quick test here. Go up through the power levels. You get a pretty good run times off of this. They're quoting around about 5 hours for the medium, which is quite a decent runtime. That's the sort of power level that you'd be using. But if you kick it up to the high, I can still see at the top of the roof without too much trouble, even with a small torch like this. Certainly if you compare it to older torches like the mag lights, the normal standard ones, AAs, they're significantly more powerful, even the smaller LEDs. Just on the strobe mode now, which is the beacon effect, notice how it stays on, it doesn't completely cut off, at least when you're looking at it directly. And this is what it looks like from a first person perspective. Now I've just fitted these silicone caps and I'm going to be walking around with them. This is the green one, using the beacon strobe, and onto the blue, and then the red. So blue definitely has more opacity. Doesn't really show the light as well, and we'll show that closer up now on the high level. Then move on to the blue. Get that little hot spot if you would want to use that for reading something like a map, and the green shows quite a bit more light than the blue does. Now I'm going to switch between them on the low mode. These would make quite good a camping light, something where you want to diffuse the light, you don't want too much light to come out, perhaps you're in a tent, or even if you just need to look at something and spread the light out even more and keep the power level down a bit so you don't disturb people. They're actually quite a nice little add-on to have. I'm not sure that I'd use the blue one much, but the other ones, particularly the red, would be quite handy, where you can put that on a backpack or on your pocket when you're walking along, and you'll be seeing very clearly at night, particularly with the beacon mode on. Wrapping up with a few thoughts on the K1 torch. In most areas I'm pretty impressed with this. AngryFox have done a very nice job. They've managed to keep the size down, and you also have those 3 power levels and a strobe. Don't always get that on the AAA torches. There are a couple of potential areas which I might change and improve. The first would be adding a bit more grip to the body. Some grooves in the head and on the body section would have helped with the grip a bit more. Also the lowest level could possibly be a bit lower, but I wasn't unhappy with the low level. It's not as bright as the Lumentop Worm's lowest level, which I found to be a bit on the bright side. On the upside, good bundle included with this and those silicone caps. You also have a nice compact size and a very nice beam output from this too. So thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to check out some of my other reviews where I'll be looking at different torches in future videos.